my family for now, I've been in the UK for a year, 1 year and 2 months precisely. And my family understands whatever I'm going through here. My immediate family understands that I came in through study visa. I have to hustle and pay my fees and pay rent monthly. Basically, I told them everything I was going through from the beginning. So they knew how much I pay every month. They knew how much time I had to work as a student. So for the first 1 year, my family actually left me or didn't bother asking me for financial help. Though it was easier sending few cash home. Maybe for example, when you I make close to, let's say I work 20 hours in a week and I make a certain amount of money. If I send 10 pounds or 20 pounds down to Nigeria, it looks as if it's something big then. But my family were not expecting much from me. All they needed to know is, are you okay? Are you able to meet up with your fees? Are you able to meet up with your rent? In fact, the first 3 months of my stay in the UK, I didn't have any job. I was just schooling, so I ended up converting naira to pounds to pay my fees. So I couldn't send any money home, or I wasn't actually bothered to send money home until recently when I started working. Um, the truth is, once your family knows your situation as it is, most cases or most times, if they're understanding, there's no much pressure on you. But if you stay here in the UK and you live flamboyant lives and you post all the time, I hardly post any picture online because I know what I'm going through. I'm not yet in a rosy place, so I don't want people to think that I'm made and I'm still struggling actually. So it's student life here in the UK. Everyone knows that it's not easy. So there's no point of me forming that I have it when I don't have it as a student. So if I start working, I know I can do the best I can. I don't have very big family that will say, okay, this person is expecting from me, this person expects from me. I only have my siblings and probably my wife and baby. So they know how to manage yourself, but they all have jobs back at home. But I still try to help the best I can.
Like for me, I'm blessed because by the grace of God, I just have my mom back home, but I have cousins, I have a few friends, and from my immediate family, nobody has really stressed me since I've been abroad because majority of my family members are abroad. But that would not mean that I have not been stressed too by maybe some distant relatives or friends. So what I have learned to do is that I make them see my situation. I make them see that indeed I'm in a position that you would love to be in, but I'm also in that place where I would help to the best of my to the best of so I've never allowed anybody pressure me. But in recent times, in relation to what Nigeria has become, I have had to now put myself under some kind of pressure as well because genuinely you can see that there are a few people who used to have who never bothered you. But with the way Nigeria has been in the past 8 or 9 years, with the new brouhaha that we are faced with, it happens that Nigerians know they fit take care of themselves again. This will not be safe. Okay, by the grace of God, I have an NGO back home, and I had to swing into action to see what we can do to help people who are genuinely in need. So there should be a cushion effect to whatever it is people are going through, because people who have, like I said, in my number of years I've been abroad, there are a few people who have never asked me for funds, but in recent times, not be their fault, man. The thing don't get as it be. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So what I have learned to do is that when I get funds, I put a certain fraction aside to be humanitarian. I think that's one of the ways to do it. But my mom doesn't ask me for money because she's the only one I even have back home. So she's almost it's almost a case where I'm even almost forcing her to have whatever little I have. Only recently I just came from Nigeria, and not to make boast, but this is my lifestyle. I love to be charitable sometimes. So I went home, few people I know, I bought some bags of rice rather than giving them money because there are things I have stopped doing. I don't buy. I used to buy things from here, maybe to take to Nigeria, but with the exchange rate, if you buy a shirt for 10 euros or £10, for instance, that's
Mm.
10 euros will be about 10K or more, or 11,000, 12,000, for instance. And if
Way
you give
more.
somebody yeah, and if you give somebody a shirt for £10, which you think is cheap, they would have preferred you cater meet their needs rather than giving him a
Yeah.
shirt which he would not value. So what I have learned to do is, okay, what I went to Nigeria to do last time, I just bought some bags of rice, and I rebagged them, and I did what I could to meet some people who I knew genuinely were in need, and that blessed my soul. Really, it made me happy that I could do that. So what I would advise is that whatever it is we can do, this period, people are genuinely in need. But that doesn't also mean that I have not seen people who are not genuinely in need, but they are almost like parasites. Those ones, those that group,
Yeah.
did a study. The fact say you there abroad, bro, forget it. But sometimes when you visit them, you see that they are some, they're even driving cars that you're not able to drive. You get it? They're okay, but they have a parasitic nature. I think there are categories of people like that in Nigeria. So I think if you give me the whole day, I'm going to talk, talk, talk. So I would rather.
Man, you see this topic? The
I
topic
tell
is
you,
long. You explain time. But notwithstanding, the issue is, I think, one, we that are here being disciplined enough to say no, because most of these guys that are back home, everybody have needs. Because most times people tend to forget that you're starting life afresh here. And regardless of how the situation, how the economy is here, it's just going to speed the process. But most times is people forget to understand that you just moved here, because when you move here, they don't care if you study, if you came to study, if you came through visits, but as long as you're abroad or more, you just have to be sending something back home. You get. And Nigerians with their level of entitlement mentality, like is way out of hand. I remember when I first came here for 3 months, for the first 3 months, I came here 2021, February 14th, 2021. So the first 3 months I wasn't able to work, but I could remember that Christmas, I think 4 months later, I had to send almost £1,000 as a student back home, and it wasn't enough as a student. So, and I don't have a house. I was literally living where I was working. I can't. Then the sneakers I was wearing then was just the underground don't open. You, so if I'm walking on the street like this, UK now, they use leg, they walk away on the surface.
yeah.
But then
Everywhere that short distance.
as long as you're in Nigeria, once you come here, you turn to Moses. So being in that condition, and you sent then it was more than that, I think so, because it was £1,000,000. Then pounds was 650 to 1,000. 650 to £1. But what went home was around, I think, 800K or 1 million. That was thereabout, So even at that, it wasn't enough.
Mm.
It wasn't, because you have to, the mom side, the in-law side, the cousins, all those stuffs. Yeah, it still wasn't enough. One thing my dad told me was, you just keep, once you've started it, you must have to finish it. That is just the truth. And he was the person that, I think he's the only person that acknowledged the fact that I'm a student. I have needs, I have my family, and I also have something to cater for. So most of them there, it's not just my family, but friends too. They feel that you've made it, you are here. There's nothing like suffering here. So as long as you are here, you're seeing money. Yeah. I even have a friend that just the dad is sick. I don't send money. First one, the guy keeps giving me updates. My dad just got back from the hospital, and I told my wife, this guy that is giving me this kind of update, he's definitely going to come back again because of these updates. So he came back again. I still sent him money. This is just a colleague, a classmate in school then. And to my greatest surprise, he asked me another money again this afternoon. I was like, bros, I don't have any naira again. That is what I thought. I don't have naira. So the only way we can just escape this thing is just to learn to say no, because you can't cater for. We understand that the situation back home is not favorable, and it's still not. Some people here suffering more than people that are in Nigeria. The few times I've gone to Nigeria, the way these guys live life, we don't live that kind of life here. The way they spend money, we don't spend that kind of money here. We always like to be honest, when there's certain things you cannot buy for yourself. But okay, imagine bringing out £500 to go to Italy or to go to any European country to enjoy yourself. But anytime a need comes out from Nigeria, you don't even think twice. You don't send £500 already. It happens because I think it was just how we are brought up, or maybe how we are wired. Because when you are relating this thing to people that are born here, they can't even relate that you have to give your parents money. They don't relate. Most of the people that I've met, they don't know what it is to support your parents. They don't do that. So in the Nigerian case, sometimes I want to blame it on the government. Sometimes I want to blame it on the individual. So I don't even know who to blame, but it's just something that is just the reality that we just have to live with, to be honest.
Just ask, how often do you send money back home? What's the frequency like, and how does this affect your savings and your financial goals?
For me, I save before even spending here. So once my salary comes, I already have a stipulated amount I save. So anything that remains should be enough to cater for my needs here and send to my parents back home. Unless maybe on a festive, or if there's an issue, then I would have to tell the person. I think the one thing I've learned is I always tell you to wait. That's, if I can't give you now, I'll tell you to wait till I can't break into my savings for unless if it's just a life-threatening situation that has to do with family. But if it's friends, and I'll just tell you, guy, you have to wait till ending of the month. Then I'll have to find something I give you. Or if anything happens before ending of the month, I'll be more than happy to send something to you. That's it.
Okay, so you send at random upon request, and
I
depending
send out random too.
Because I know someone who placed their family on salary, and
I
now
put my family on salary too.
And now this person is trying to reverse it because she has seen that she can no longer handle it. Because there's one thing to promise someone every month at this date you will get this amount of money, and that thing to keep up with that steady, no matter what.
So I think it's just for my dad and my mom. I can't place any other person on salary. It's just my dad and my mom. And my mom is just basically, if you give her, she will take. If you don't give her, she's not bothered. So these are the two people I can place on salary. You're not my wife. You're not. So why should I place your salary if you're not in this category?
Remember, I told you guys that I came in last year, and I've been a student until 3 months ago when I started working. So before, while as a student, I still try to send money randomly, but as soon as I got my job and started working, I called my parents and my mom. I told her I'll be sending this amount of money every month. So month end, she expects this. My wife is still in Nigeria. She works too. So and I left my ATM, my first bank ATM with my wife. So there's always money there for emergencies. You understand? When she's unable to meet up with the financial needs, she always goes to my ATM and makes use of the money. The good thing I have is my family, my immediate family understands what I'm going through. So they're okay with whatever they get at home. My wife is okay and she's actually a good, she can manage money a lot. So me, I spend more than she spends, but with her it's easier for me to save up and manage and be able to help.
Yeah.
You're mute.
You're mute.
Sorry, my kids just came into the car. But all the same, well, I believe that with from my experience, if you allow people pressure you, they take hold of you.
I swear.
And yeah, because what I used to do, I used to have a habit there. And for people who know me in Nigeria, I used to have a lot of friends. So imagine me trying to keep up with maybe approximately 10 friends who would randomly say, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? So initially, I always felt bad when I couldn't help, but it was traumatizing me. So what I have learned over time is that, especially with knowing that some people are not genuinely in need. I think that's the emphasis. Some people are not genuinely in need. And the earlier we know that, the better for us. Some people are just in need. Okay, imagine somebody calls me, okay? Maybe this was even last year or maybe early. And I out of courtesy, I called the person to say happy birthday. And the next thing the guy would tell me is, oh, my guy, man, we just did beer parlor, we just did booze now. Do you understand that?
Maybe just the
And
view.
so we just the booze now, man. Guy, wait, oh, I beg, just make sure I beg, just send us Hennessy money, just send us one,
Okay?
one thing, like, and I'm like, for real? Oh boy, you know what's up? I didn't, but for me, I have a policy. I don't tell people I don't have because I can't let you tell me how I'm feeling. All I say to you is, all right, I heard you. I heard you. It's a polite way of saying, okay, yeah, it's my prerogative whether to respond to your stupidity or to, you know what I mean? Call somebody. Oh, well, they feel that we don't have bills, but we have bills where
Hmm.
I'm glad to be talking to you guys now who have just come in. But if there are some times when my direct debit might default. So if my direct debit defaults, as a human being who is working for my money and all that, then I cannot I owe nobody any apology if I default or if I do not meet their needs when they want me to meet them. So what I have learned is that every now and again I put certain funds aside. Like I don't send money often, and I've told people that as a matter of policy, I don't send money from here because by the way, to an extent, I have some funds back home. And when that reserve is not in place, when I don't have money there, that's what the way I have tried to discipline myself because at some point I was too flippant with money and I was losing myself in the process. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, so I was too flippant. I was sending money too regularly and it wasn't helping me. So what I have learned to do is that I have certain amounts that I've kept aside every now and again. And once that reserve is not intact, then I know that I've exceeded my threshold. Because sometimes when you have too much money in your care, people will come up with all sorts of stories. If I was given an opportunity to send text messages of people what people send to me, almost, I won't say daily now because I'll be emphasizing what is not real. But every now and again, people send me some kind of messages that even if you were a devil, you would be compassionate to want to send money. But some of them are just frivolous, for frivolous expenses. They are not genuinely in need. They just want to meet some stupid whatever, and then they give you one story. Like my brother was saying a few minutes ago that, oh, imagine somebody tell you saying Papa they sick or in Papa they hospital and all that, give you one story. Some people have even sent pictures. Not be people when I don't know, not people when I know well. My grassroots, as in people when you grow up with. So when person like that saying you say, man, na so they attack him or na so something, na so this, you go on send them money because Nigerians have learned. I like what somebody said, what the other man said now. He said, Nigerians have an entitlement spirit. And the earlier we know that, the better for us. Because you are being here, you're starting a new life. You are starting a life that does not have compassion for you. Your landlord for Nigeria, if he say, I beg, if he tell him, I beg, if he carry your papa go beg him, he go say, okay, stay another 3 months or stay another 1 month. For yeah,
6
if you
months,
get landlord or if you they pay, yeah, if you get landlord, if you they get pay mortgage, the bank don't know whether you they exist. If you default your payment, you don't spoil your credit.
That's it. Don't be lie.
You understand what I mean? If you take one credit for bank or take one loan, one thing, something happen. Maybe you get car when you buy, you say you not will pay. If you not pay, man, forget it. The thing not going to harass you, but your credit now they run down. That's one thing what we need to know. And for Europe, credit now be your game. Credit is the only thing that keeps you standing.
Yeah.
If you work for Tesco for the last 10 years, you'll see someone in the work for Tesco say he just a work normal €10 job or £10 job. He don't do that, but you'll see him say he get everything. The reason is because he has been able to maintain his credit. He not a default in payment. But you'll see somebody when they work for for tech. So then I want to understand when we get to know. If some people now they will run those when they take, they will just run down. Before you know, they don't mess their credit. They're not there. If you default 3 payments, your credit is already counting. So when you want to go for another credit tomorrow, the credit collaboration organization not going to let you collect anything. And once you're not able to take credit abroad, forget it. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So these are some of the things that we need to know. The system has no mercy for you, but also you have to prioritize this time. Which of these ones is better and easier to maintain? Then some parents, for those who have just come as well, parents will also pressure you. Oh boy, Amaka and Unduka, whatever. I beg, they get one land when they want build, this land, this one, that one. My brother, whenever you want to do some kind of, because those one another way when you go spend money for Nigeria and you might get lost in it. I'm not saying it is wrong to invest in Nigeria or to build a house in Nigeria, but you have to be smart about it. Because that's another way when some of our parents don't take pressure us before you know what's happening. But whatever it is you want to build, make sure it's an investment arrangement because you have to make a choice. Are you staying abroad or are you going back to Nigeria? And if you are moving back to Nigeria, know you are moving back, then you know the kind of house that you want to build.
Yeah.
I don't know if you get what I'm saying. I know we haven't gotten to that point yet. We're only just talking but these are some of the pressure that we face or we have faced in the past, where you're trying to maybe build a house that is almost reaching heaven. My brother, how many times are you going to go to Nigeria from the look of things? Unless you have a plan to go back, maybe after 5-10 years, thereabout, but you have to be realistic about your plan. So those are the little things anyway. When they happen. Because me, I don't lose money for this matter. I'm not gonna lie now. I don't lose money to friends, I don't lose money to beloved ones. When be like say, if I say this person, I think give him my broker self, may say they do it he like. So that's to show how much I trust person. But they not even think twice before it mess me up. So I'm just saying, back home they almost be like vampires to those of
Mm.
us when they're abroad, and we have to be wise. That's just my own
Mm.
little advice. You know what I'm saying?
I concur. Totally
Come on,
agree.
and not vex. They always take una time whenever they
No,
talk.
no, not at all. It's insightful,
It's
really.
okay.
So,
Inside.
this money that when they send, give, go back, especially the one you send to your family members. How do you ensure
Yeah.
that your family uses the funds for their intended purposes? So, you get any measure we're gonna put in place to monitor or prevent any potential misuse of this money, of this on hard-earned money when they send?
Would
Uh,
that
Mm.
be me?
Anthony, if you give us your voice.
Basically, but I use pidgin, I beg. I don't have to speak
Hey,
English.
Nakam.
The truth, the truth be saying, um, we have my family. We get houses already for Nigeria. For Abuja, for example. So there's no big project in mind. I have in mind already. Even pidgin, I cannot speak again. There, I don't. As in, there's no big project exactly. So the money I send back home basically is for upkeep for my
True.
parents. Then once in a while, my siblings chat me up and they know that okay, I'm going through this. They'll ask me, bros, I beg you get anything we if send. I will tell them, say, okay, see when I expect money. Give me 1 week, give me 2 weeks. I will convert to Naira, I will send. Or I will use any of my reserve that I have in my bank and I'll send to them. So basically all my siblings are working. You understand? So and despite the fact that things are hard, my parents raised us in a way that we have to be okay, contented with what we have. We're not greedy like that. And growing up, my dad used to tell me that make I know they expect anything from anyone. Nobody could help me except immediate family. So the moment I have that in my head, it's easier for me to understand that I shouldn't be entitled to anyone that's living abroad or have the means. I didn't understand what he was saying, and I try not to pressure most of my family or relatives abroad. Even before I left Nigeria, but as I came to UK, the first 3 months, I understood I understood everything my relatives here abroad, here in US, all they've been going through. I understood. So I kept quiet. I said, thank God I wasn't among those people that kept on calling them like, please, please send me this, please send me that. I'll say this openly. I have a cousin that knew when I was preparing to leave the country, when I was applying for my admissions, and when I got the admission and it was time to pay my initial deposit, for some reason, I don't know what transpired, but she stopped talking to me. She's in the US. She stopped talking to me, and till date, from last year till now, I've not heard her voice. I've not seen her picture. We blocked each other on Facebook, on WhatsApp, and I came to the UK. I've seen it all. First 3 months, no job. I had to work to raise school fees. School fees, you know how it be, £14,000 and above. We paid the money. I had to work 20 hours to meet up. There was no rest and all that. So I know what I'm going through. And the truth is, I tell my family members everything step by step. See what I go through. See how much I have to raise to pay school fees. See how much I have to raise to pay rent. So by the time I do all this, if there's anything left, you will know. So my family know what I earn, know what I'm going through, and they are patient with me. So I don't have any big money I'm sending home now. Maybe in the nearest future, I will reason that. Understand? I'll find a means where I could track and know how the money I'm sending home is being used. But for now, I'm still upcoming. I use the word upcoming.
when it comes to that, I'm a very carefree person. I don't checkmate. I don't ask you, okay, bring receipts for the money I gave you. What did you buy with it? And other stuff. You said this is what you need the money for, and I'll just give it to you. And that's just it, to be honest. I I don't think I've ever asked anybody to tell me how he spent, except for our last born. There was a time I sent him money, and it was a huge sum. When I got to Nigeria, I gave him 500K when I traveled to Nigeria. Just sometime last year Christmas. Then January again, I gave him 1 million, and he went and told my mom that the money I gave him is not going to be enough. I told him, okay, before I give you another money, you have to give me a rundown of how you spent the one I gave to you. And the boy disappeared. So I think that was the only time I've asked anybody to give me a rundown of how he spent the money I gave to him. But aside that, I don't think I do ask, because to be honest, I don't care. You told me, if you've given me the reason why you need the money, I was okay, no problem. How much do you need? Send me account number. That's just it.
Okay, but if you sent the money for them to help you purchase something, like purchase something on your behalf, of course, you're sure going to ask them for evidence of what was bought, right?
That's to be honest, have not really occurred, because currently, if I want to do anything, and I even keep saying it before I traveled, if I want to build anything in Nigeria whilst abroad, or if I want to make a very big purchase, I don't go through anybody. I'll wait till I come to Nigeria. Like when I wanted to buy a property in Lagos, I didn't send anybody. I didn't even send my mom. I didn't send my dad. I have to wait till I came to Lagos to do that myself, because I don't want any stories. Yeah, I can't give you any money to buy anything for me. I can't. Even when I can't, to be honest. I rather do it myself than give anybody money to do anything for me.
And especially when it involves a huge sum,
Yes, exactly.
because that's I don't know, I beg, pity me, say we'll be family, those kind of
No,
story.
no, to be honest, it's going to save a lot of things. It's going to save the relationship, is going to save the whatever, how we've known each other, how long we've known each other, whatever just to safeguard. No matter how much I trust you, Rich, there's a certain amount I can entrust on your hand to help me do something. But lately I wanted to do that, but it's just because the money that was involved wasn't really much. I think it was 1.5 million. I wanted to give one of my friends to just buy property for me in Lagos, but that was just like, I don't say if anything happened, I can just deal with it. It's not like a huge amount like that. So I just said, okay, but the guy wasn't disposed to do anything like that. So I have to like die it. Out of trust, I had to send the money to the girl. It's okay, just do everything, send me the receipts. Even the receipts myself, I didn't even ask her. She was the one that was chasing me out for the receipts, send the receipt to my email and all those stuff. Till date, I've not cross-checked that receipt. It's just sitting on my email because I told her that whenever I come to Nigeria again, I'm going to like to go see the property to know where it is. Then we can now look at all the documentation properly. For me, in that aspect, I'm a very carefree person when it comes to that aspect.
Yeah, I like the approach you employ towards when you want to secure something very, very expensive, you do it directly, you go by
Yeah,
yourself. But as much as you're trying to, preserve the relationship, you're also protecting your own peace of mind, because
exactly.
Like, because I've learned over time, and initially, yes, I would send some money, but to my own immediate family, like my mom, she's the one I have at home, like I said before. I would send anything to my mom, and I know she's going to deliver. She's even going to spend her money. So I think it all comes from the kind of family that you come from. Like I've heard stories where people send money to their parents and the monies are being misused. With my immediate family, I've not experienced any of that. But I have done some forms of businesses with certain friends, like I said earlier, whom I do trust by all means, or I used to trust. But I have been betrayed a few times, and that has left me scarred and has left me with some high level of caution. So sometimes, like he said, I might not send you money to do something for me. I might send money for us to go into a venture together. Because every now and again, one venture or one thing comes up, and the kind of humans that we are, we we tend to want to explore when options or when situations come up. And sometimes, because of what I have experienced, I wouldn't advise sometimes, no matter how you trust a particular person, sometimes the situation they might be in might just be so pressing. Okay, I'll give you an example. Last year, I was supposed to go to um, Lagos, to Nigeria with my whole family. So tickets were so expensive. So there's a guy that has been buying tickets through in Lagos. And behold, as early as was it February, maybe February, March, I had paid him completely for six people, six of us, myself and my four children, my wife, my four children, for us to go to Nigeria. So I wouldn't want to say how much, but last year tickets were quite expensive. So we're supposed to go to Nigeria in December. So I gave him some good amount of money with the belief that he had bought my ticket. And then I involved my sister who also has six children and her husband. So that's eight people. To cut the long story short, when it was time for us to travel, then we realized that our tickets was never bought.
Oh no, that's disappointing.
Do you understand what this means? So for me, I was like, no, this can't be true. This is somebody I have known for over 10 years in the ticketing industry, so he's been the one buying tickets for me when I can't just buy on my own online. And why did I choose to buy with him last year? I noticed that while trying to buy tickets by myself online, it was a bit more expensive to what I found with the Nigerian markets. I don't know what happened last year anyway. So long story short, this particular guy whom I trust, whom I have given numbers, people, I've given his number to a number of members of my family to help them buy tickets. So he has never failed. But unfortunately, he has left us till now. I still haven't got a farthing from the money.
Hmm.
To make it worse, I introduced my sister and her husband. So, say for instance, I was incredible, or it was, this is over 9 million from my sister's end because they bought their ticket even later than I did. So, about 9 or almost 10 million is what we transferred to him so that he could buy the ticket. But we didn't realize that he didn't buy the ticket until the day to the ticket. I don't know if you get what that means. How broken we were and how broken we still are. But my sister insisted that no, she still has to go to Nigeria. Then we had to rally around. She had to look for, she spent another 15 million to go to Nigeria for just 2 weeks because she had told her children that they will go to Nigeria. They are not going to Nigeria for many years. So why am I narrating this story? I'm talking about how sometimes, as careful as we might be, some people go just day when they say, devil don't sit on their head. They just want to mess their name up, but somebody has to be a victim. And unfortunately, last year, my family and I, my sister, we all became victims of that kind of situation. So it sometimes that kind of guy now when swindle me, he's still telling me that, oh, it's a bad business, something. Where my brother is still telling me that he will pay. So as I talk to you now, I don't involve police, I don't involve anything. But my maybe like 15, another 15 million between myself and my sister is still with the guy. I want to, even if I want to involve police, where I want to start from. But that guy has left me with a. So I'm just giving you one example of many things that has happened. So sometimes these people, when they're Nigeria, they see us as praise. I'm sorry to say, but you nine go just wise while trying to do transaction. So am I still going to say I'm not going to do tickets with person? The ticket when my sister still used to go Nigeria, the 50 million one, we still send out to another lady for Lagos, and that one ended up delivering. She bought the tickets. So it's a case where you don't go do business or you go do business. I don't know if you now understand what they talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So these things they happen. Sometimes some of these people back home, they just this is a person I don't know for 10 years. So I don't know what in be 10 years, guys. I don't know him since my days of Sweden. So what I mean be say this same guy now, when I don't know for 10 years, he messed me up. But the one who just know within in our distress, that will not mess up. But that will not mean say tomorrow that one will not mess up. So
Yeah.
sometimes you go don't build some kind of trust around these people. May they do something for you because I said make you do something for me. This will not be land now. This one has buy something when you defeat buy normally. But he mess up. So sometimes when they want mess up, they know they think am. Especially when this japa thing come up. Some people want just japa. Meanwhile, the source, waiting they want go spend money on, now still fraudulent japa move. So they will carry your own money, go put inside japa level. Before you know waiting, but japa don't mess up, your money don't mess up. Everybody go there inside some kind of dirty shit hole. Bro, I don't know how to explain it. But we went there here, we need to look after ourselves. And I'm really loving this initiative when our lady they bring up, which is good. It's going to help enlighten a lot of people. Some of us will share some of the bad experience to those when just come. Because this Japa thing, Europe not be the way we think of. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to do when you don't come up from Nigeria. Like my brother said just now, you just start afresh. Irrespective of what you get from Nigeria, let's say you won't sell them. If you don't want to sell them, then you are going to have to start raising fresh funds. If you want to own a mortgage, you will raise the money. If you want to buy a house, you buy a new car, you will raise the money. Or if you want to pay landlord continuously, all of these things they. And the Nigeria money not going to let you do anything. The house when you get from Nigeria not going to let you do anything. So you get to balance yourself here. There's a parable I always say to people. I say, now who they put for back, not they carry another person for back. So we are still while we are here, until no matter how long you don't even date the Europe self, anything will happen. Our crash will happen. So we are still being
that was thank you so much to you. All this money now when are they saying? Now don't ever encounter any family member or friends where they're ungrateful upon all the money when I give. And how I take handle and when I still send the money, send the person money again, or did you just cancel that person and say no, that's it? Because I know that some people go there where go feel say wait till you give them too small, they go do face one kind. So have you ever encountered any such person in the course of sending money, helping financially?
Let me just say something here quickly. I've not really encountered such because how will I put it now? I did not expect anything from my relatives or friends that were abroad before I came. I wasn't asking. So me coming to the UK, I didn't expect people to ask me, at least for now. I'm not saying I'm being stingy or whatever, but I didn't expect people to ask me. I've gotten few calls and few text messages or chat messages asking for funds. But immediately I get that message, if I have the money at that point in time, I send. But based on my experience in the last 6 or 7 months, where I was just struggling to pay my school fees, I will tell you plainly, see my situation. I don't have. Give me more time. Give me time. Let me settle. When I settle, we can talk about it. So I didn't really, I've not really had any experience of someone being ungrateful. I've not been ungrateful to anyone that has helped me. I won't say people have not helped me. Once you help me once, I won't even ask you to help me and do a charitable whatever on my case because I've always had a job in from Nigeria, a well-paying job. Do you understand? Compared to most graduates in Nigeria. I had a good job that paid reasonably well as a teacher. Understand? So I didn't expect much from anyone, and it's still coming back to me. So people didn't guys are not expecting me to from nowhere send you money to buy you this, to buy you that. You
Yeah.
understand? I help my immediate family the best I can. Then maybe next
They
year,
appreciate it.
next 2 years, they do appreciate. My mom, my siblings actually appreciate the fact that I'm able to send money to my mom and my dad. You understand? And because it's basically reducing some stress upon them because of
Mm.
the economic situation in Nigeria. You understand?
Let me
So
ask this. Is there anyone who is expecting, as Christmas and New Year, normally people expect free gift. Is
mm,
there anyone who is expecting anything from you this
my
Christmas?
family, my family ex is expecting. They've already told me, and I said, okay, I'll see what I can do. I don't know what I'm going to send, but I know I'm going to just send a huge amount of money for them to share among themselves, my immediate family, my mom, my dad, my siblings, my
Oh,
wife, and baby, obviously.
oh, great. And
Yeah.
so is there any heartwarming stories? So all this month, even the little you're able to help out with, has there been anything, significant that was used, that it was used for, and they're now benefiting immensely from?
Uh, Nothing different, really. Some years ago, so many years ago, I got my job as a teacher in Abuja there and did a contribution one time, and there was an emergency in my family that required, I think, a quarter of a million or so. Then, about 8, 10 years ago, and from nowhere, I packed the contribution, like this month. The next month, the emergency came up, and I took the whole money and I sent back home. My
Okay.
my my family were so happy. But for now, there's not been any new thing. I do the best I can do, so there's nothing new. All I know is that whatever I send home to my family, I get prayers, thank you. They appreciate it, and they know that okay, um, they're not meant to bug me or ask me all the time because I myself, if I had to call me, I'll tell you my situation. I don't have money. I'm broke. I'm waiting for salary to come in. I have to pay rent. I have to pay people I'm owing or people I owed and all stuff. So they already know. Maybe in next couple of years, 2 years, 3 years, we could see what happens from there.
Good. So Kingsley, I'm going to ask you three in one question. So we just quickly wrap things up. So the first one would be, have you ever encountered any ungrateful family member or friend who did they appreciate the financial help you rendered? That's one. And two, are there any expectations from you this Christmas and New Year holiday, okay, from back home? And the last one would be, is there any heartwarming stories that your financial support has, created for your family member, despite the challenges associated with sending money back home?
I'm laughing because my wife is listening to this conversation and she understands what the first question. I think in the issue of the first question, that was sometime in March, right? April, and I'll blame my mom for that one. There's this my auntie that stays in Port Harcourt, and when I came back, when I went to Nigeria in May, okay, yeah, that was in May, sorry. When I went to Nigeria in May, I promised her that I'm going to give her some certain money to support her business. So after when I go back to UK, I had to, intentionally delay giving her that money because my mom said that if I'm giving her the money, I should make sure she accounts for it. You understand? Because she knows the kind of person she is, that she needs to account for. As a matter of fact, I should tell her to pay me back the money you get. So I had to follow what my mom said, and my elder sister also mentioned the same thing. So when I gave her this money, it was a huge amount of money, to be honest, just for her to start her hair business and all those stuff. And to my greatest surprise, what caused the problem was pay me back the money. The 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 husband
Wahala, wahala. Oh.
The husband had to send me. Okay, she started first. She was like, if she's going to pay me back the money, that she didn't expect I'm going to give her the money for her to pay back. She was already seeing it like I'm going to use it to settle her. Quite all right. That was what I said initially. But I didn't want to tell her that Mom C said you should be accountable for this. You get. I just told her that I've changed my mind and I want you to pay me back. So this is how it's going to do when I'm just investing in your business. And if you return this investment 100%, I'm going to double it. And I meant it. So she we went back and forth on the whole game. And that one aside, the husband, I thought that one has died. The husband now picked phone very early in the morning, started sending me voice note message that I'm ungrateful, that why would I tell my auntie to pay back the money? How much did I give to her? That do I know how much he's worth? He's worth almost 10 million naira, all this kind of stuff. That what they spend in a month is almost 1 million naira, that he said some stuff like that, but I knew that, okay, from that voice notes, this is where the problem is. I didn't say anything. I just played it for my wife to listen. After she finished this thing, the only thing she told me that I shouldn't let my family to know about it. But the thing disturbed me. I had to tell my elder sister because I'm very close to her. And after I told her not to tell anybody, my elder sister, go tell my younger sister. My younger sister carry and go tell my mom. Everybody was angry about the whole stuff. Just the whole entitlement, the whole ungratefulness. That, to be honest, that is the level of, as in that is the highest level of ungratefulness I've ever seen in my entire life. Giving you that huge amount of money, money that is more than, I think it was up to 3 million naira. The only problem is pay me back. And anybody in his right senses will know that this guy doesn't really need, as in he doesn't really need you to pay the money back. He just wants to see how accountable you are, because I know how she is with money. Up till this today, my auntie hasn't called me on the phone. I said I'm even going to call her to know how she's doing and all this stuff. Till with this very day, she has stopped talking to me. She has stopped talking to my mom. She has stopped talking to, I don't know if she's still in communication with my siblings, but that's number one. The other one was my younger brother, my last born. His own is that I understood, because when he traveled to Canada, the pressure of school fees and everything, literally there's nothing 1 million I can do for anybody that is owing school almost 22,000 Canadian dollars. So I understood his own part, but you coming to say that is not enough, because after all, when I came here, nobody gave me anything. I literally had to sweat my ass off to get things running. It was even in his own case that my mom understood that there's something like a student. So all this kind of stuff. My mom was very, very supportive when I came here, because he contributed heavily towards me coming to this place, and every day I keep telling her, thank you for this. Now, I understood what it is for somebody that is in Nigeria to, send his son abroad and all those kind of stuff. And I think these are the two cases I have for people being ungrateful. Aside from, another one is my best friend. This guy literally came to Nigeria for
always that person closest, in your inner circle that
I don't know why. I don't know why. It's still just that level of entitlement, to be honest. That level of entitlement. Because this one his own is even more painful than anything. The money was quite small, but it was just more like a fraud. You coming to tell me you owe people, and forging so many things, and you are telling another of our friend that is in US that you are owing another person again. The same story you gave me, it's way nah.
Just
I
like what you
felt
said, yeah. They
I
just
felt betrayed, to be honest. I felt betrayed. And that was just the case. Then the second one, your second question is
Christmas expectations. Are they expecting you to?
okay, Christmas expectation. To be honest, now nobody's expecting anything Christmas wise from me. I've settled my mom and my dad, my in-laws, everybody are okay. I've done my own part, the one I can do. So anybody, the only person that I know that I've not given anything, I've told her that I'm going to send her something is when we're little, there's this auntie that whenever we go to her house, she must always drop something. You get, so she's the only person that I know that I want to give something this Christmas. And aside that, every other person is okay. Then the third question is what?
So can you share any heartwarming stories of how your financial support positively impacted your family's lives despite these whole challenges of sending money?
Okay, I think it was a period last year Christmas when gave my I gave my mom a gift. I told her that I'm going to, right from when I was small, I always keep telling her that I'm going to, when I grow up, buy a big car. So I did that last year Christmas. I kind of felt fulfilled because it has been like a childhood dream, and she was very, very super happy and all that. My dad was also very, very happy too. I think that's just it. Aside from my siblings that have just settled one or two, like that, I think that's all.
Well, there are just a few friends that it's not within family members. I've not really had such within family members. I do have a few cousins. What they do sometimes is not unexpected. But what pains me sometimes is when friends do some things like that. And I've had a few issues. Which one can I really remember now? My dear, I don't too take for I don't see too many things.
The one that
But
gave you sleepless nights for days, for months.
Okay. One of the ones that really pains me even till now is I did a business. I was supposed to start a kitchen with a friend, and till now, I put in some millions into the business and it still hasn't started. We signed papers, we did all sorts, and the guy has not started the business till now. When I was in Nigeria like 4 weeks ago, and I just paid him a visit. And I let him know that this is the guy I've slept in his house, even while abroad. So for someone like me, I'm very cautious. So I don't just jump into people's space if I don't trust you. So the reason I felt so bad with this particular transaction is that I trust him so well that I was able to go to his place. I made myself vulnerable to him, even in my own very sensitive situation. And in the midst of that, I invested some money into the business, which he made seem very perfect. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be like he values the relationship. I think that's what's really painful for me. And I told him straight away, I said, you've ruined chances for people who are genuinely ready to do business and ready to do something with me. Because I was here and that particular transaction, I had to send money. I had to keep sending money with the hope that the thing had started. But when I visited, I saw that nothing was there. And by now, based on our projections, if the business had started, we should have been reaping the dividends by now. So that's for me. But it's the remorse that he's not showing. for all of these things that has happened. And that really breaks my
family members, friends back home that are expecting some special Christmas gifts, cash-wise, this period.
I have cousins, yes. I have cousins who have reached out, and I'm putting modalities in place to make that happen, which I kind of do almost every year. But I do it in my own volition, and I'm not pressured.
Okay.
I'm not pressured to do any of that.
Can you share any heartwarming stories? So whatever you've sent so far to maybe cousins or immediate family members.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'll tell you something. I have a younger cousin who grew up with me, and by virtue of birth circumstances, he became my mom's child. So I think 2 years ago, I asked him what his plans were. He said, oh, blah, blah, blah. He wants to travel. But because of my mom, I wanted him to stay back and chill with my mom for a while. So I went home and I asked him to go look for a car that he likes. So he took me to a place where they sell one car, this Toyota Corolla. And I was able to get it for him anyway. I got it for him and I gave him a small piece of land. But you see, the gratitude gives me joy, but it's the gratitude that came from that gesture. That's what I'm sharing. That he was full with surprise. He didn't expect it. He took me there and he said this. I said, okay. I transferred the money to him so that he could pay the people, put his name on it. And then in a locality, I have some pieces of land. So I just went to him and I told him already on the phone that this car, you're going to be using it. And then you can use this car, whatever proceeds that you're making from the car, you can be using it to develop a piece. So from a piece of 100 by 100 that I have in a particular place, I split it in half. I did the papers for him. So till today, he's in awe. He's still surprised, like, oh, and that's the part, that's the response I get from people when I do certain things for them. That's what gives me joy to do more. Absolutely. So I think that's